Bangladesh right now, we're talking about a virtual power plant made up of 5 million electric rickshaws, which can absorb solar during the driver's breaks during the day, and then use it as power, not only for their own duty cycles, but later on in the day on the grid. You know, all that vision of the distributed energy utility solutions versus the coal, oil, nukes, and gas mental model is a software-based solution. And I can tell you about hundreds of startups doing that work, modeling that, optimizing that, helping people bid into day-ahead markets, or time interval markets of different kinds. We're going to have to get very sophisticated, but not more sophisticated than the middleware that runs this amazing thing we're doing. I'm sitting in Sydney, Australia. You're somewhere in the States. We're doing a television interview that just 10, 15 years ago would have seemed impossible without the highest of high-end satellite-based newsrooms. And this is all being run by some software that silently in the background is batching bits and bytes of data to mirrored servers somewhere in the world to make this possible. And your viewers are going to watch this for years to come on YouTube, and same story. So we have the technology is the good news, Ali, but we have to innovate around that to get it to go. Second answer is around this financial question, which is that all those things, all those demand response assets and distributed energy utility solutions look different to what energy financiers like to look at, which is billion-dollar things that boil steam with known companies' kit inside them and kind of underwriting characteristics that they've done for decades and know how to do a deal. When you're talking sub, 50 megawatts, which is sort of the majority of power plant being built on Earth, you're talking about a dollar value, which, particularly since the PV keeps on coming down in price, is smaller and smaller and not enough to get a lot of bankers out of bed for, because the fee they can make on the deal, the transaction, isn't interesting. So we need to work out how to streamline the transaction costs, how to bundle and aggregate deployed assets and make them more bankable and financeable for the big end of town. The good news is that there's not really a shortage of capital on Earth for energy expenditure. We know that. We spend money all the time putting our hands in our pocket to pay the fossil fuel guys. And today on Earth, or last year at least, twice as much money was spent on clean energy resources, mostly solar and storage, than fossil fuels. So the money is around, but it needs to be engineered in a way, architected differently, and that's the innovation. And people don't think of finance engineering as like an innovation that needs, the support of entrepreneurs, but it's a big deal.
It's the most important thing in some respects, especially, like you were talking about, if you can pool